All right. Hey, look at that. We are live. And I spent some time over the last couple of days um, getting some getting some pages ready for this grayscale shading that I like to do. And got one to do. I'm going to try to do a quick one today. Just a quick little Scannerino for you good people, and wonder how I can. Is that better? Is that closer? Testing 1 2 3. My microphone is right there. Um, yeah. So, uh, here we are again. I had a lot of technical problems last time, but I still got a lot of great work done, and as usual, getting to spend this time with you really helps me get my work done. So I am hoping that you can use this time to help get your work done. Let's spend some time together and draw. Tell me what you're working on in the chat. Send me a link to check out. Just come and let's do our thing. All right. So, all that said, what do we have to work on today? Well, so I have this panel here, which when I drew it, I really liked it. You know what? I still do. It's so interesting. It really does remind me of what it felt like to be leaving here after my first day of work. So interesting. All right, so let's just take a quick look around. I do see a few like little spots and things to clean up. But I think overall this is relatively clean. I could take care of this, I guess. There is some chance that this page will go pretty quickly, but I've said that before. Just take care of some of these dots and stuff. I don't know. I was reading a Patreon post from someone I know who does comics, and he was talking about his cleanup process, and it resonated. It was really nice to know that we're all fighting the same fight. You know what I mean? Hey, look at this stuff. This is all such small potatoes, huh? Look at these lines that I didn't use a ruler on. I am sure that felt like the right decision at the time. I'm going to just smooth that out. Might want to come back and hit that with some black color. Might want to strengthen these lines. But let's do this. Let's go down to the graying layer here and do a little work. So, oh, yeah, I need to actually select a brush. So I felt, when I was looking at this before, I felt like these windows should be gray. I'm always trying to figure out, frankly, how to clarify things visually and create more depth and space. And what's the most economical way to bring the illusion of how things felt at the time? So what do I mean by that? I mean that it's a sunny day and I want this tree to look bright. So I don't know. I was thinking about whether to use some gray to provide some dimension to the leaves like this, you know. So I might try that a little bit, but I just want to see if that works, seeing as how I've got so many strong black shaded areas as well. My grandmother told me an absolutely shocking number of years ago now about how dark colors make things recede into the distance and into depth, and she was right for what she was trying to tell me at the time. And if she were here now, she would agree that it was a very simple way to put it, but I was just a child. So she was giving me what she knew I could understand at the time. But I think about what she said when I think about creating layers of depth. It's all okay. It's all about distinct layers. Even if you have a scene that appears to be just vanishing back to a single point, like a corridor, it's really helpful for the viewer if you provide 3 or so distinct layers: foreground, midground, background. You could have more layers than that if you want. But a small number of layers gives places for the eye to land in 3 dimensions. And this is what it's all about. We're trying to use a 2-dimensional medium to portray a 3-dimensional space. 4-dimensional if you want to get, really specific about time. But at the very least, we're trying to portray 3 dimensions here. And the only way to do that is to fool the eye in specific, effective ways by asking the eye to do things that it wouldn't normally do. When you're looking at an object, a flat object, a piece of paper, or a computer monitor, the eye wants to see the object because the object is what's there. And by providing these ways of indicating layers of depth, we're giving the eye a pathway to going beyond just seeing the object into perceiving the depth that the artist wants to convey. So anyway, what does that all have to do with what I'm trying to do here? Well, I want this back area here with the windows to act as the background. And I want it to be really clear that it's far behind this part of the building. So I'm doing that not only by showing some of the grass, like so, but also Um, these windows are a different shade from those windows, so it gives that gives more clues about what's going on. And then I can add depth to these trees like so. So this page, the astute reader will realize, is an echo of the page where I entered the building for my interview and the page where I entered for my first day of work. So I'm trying to set, a comic it's interesting. A comic in a way has a lot in common with a poem, because the unit of meaning, while the unit of meaning in prose you could say is a word or a sentence, which is quite small, the unit of meaning in a comic is an image, which can be quite small or quite large. But by definition is 1,000 words, right? So, in a poem, you have these a smaller number of um, units, which are uh, therefore kind of a larger piece of the whole composition than you would in a short story or a novel. And a comic is the same way, because, if a novel has, well, let's do some math. And I'm going to do math that doesn't apply specifically to this graphic novel, because I've done a couple of unusual things with the page count and so forth. But you imagine that a novel has, say, 100,000 words, 50,000, 100,000 words. A graphic novel might be 200 pages, and each page might have as many as 10 panels. So, 10,000. Is that right? No. Geez, I shouldn't do math while I'm drawing. All right. 200 pages, 10 panels, 2,000. 2,000. So, a novel has 25 or 50 times as many semantic units. And if you want to say, I guess you could say that a sentence in a novel is similar to a single image in a graphic novel. That might be fair, right? See, I don't. Well, maybe that's okay. I feel like some of this is kind of confusing now. I don't know what to think. I might decide to undo a bunch of this. Who knows? So where were we? All right. So 2,000 drawings, 2,000 sentences, maybe. I'm going to do this like this. to think about this for a second. Yeah, I don't like this. Let me make this larger. I feel like I need to do a smaller amount of this because I don't want this to blend with the background that I've set up already, you know what I mean? Okay. All right. So anyway, the point is that with a smaller number of semantic units, you kind of get into the territory of, poetry versus prose in a way, because each semantic unit becomes that much more important. So I create these echoes. It's not exactly a rhyme. It's a little bit like a rhyme, but it's more a metaphor than a rhyme. I mean, it's not intended to be quite so formalistic. Though I was called a formalist recently, which I suppose I can't argue with. I will say, while I'm drawing these trees, that these trees are pretty good, but the tree that I did a few pages ago in the scene where Pete and I are walking outside to eat lunch, that's a good tree. These trees are all right. I always need to work on my trees. I always need to work on my trees. Need to improve my skills, if you please. So please excuse if my trees lose. The other thing is, I feel like sometimes you get the effect you want by being vague, and other times you get the effect you want by being very specific. And sometimes it's just a mystery which one is which, or which one to do. Okay, so that's better. That's somewhat better. I want to be able to make this caption stand out a bit. I mean, I could leave these as just big areas of white. There's no harm in that, really. But I like the idea of just adding this kind of three-dimensionality to it, which I think, I think it works. Uh-oh. I mean, there. You know, do I do this? Would this be interesting? Golly. Just trying to aim with this thing, Do I do the same thing here with this one? Maybe? I think that is fine. See, there we go. And now I can do this if I want to. I can color in this stone pattern like this. I see there are a few spots there where looks like I might need to take some short little lines out. I do wonder, when I drew this, what exactly I thought me of the future would be doing with it. These don't have to be perfect, but there we go. This line at the top, need to know if that should be filled in or opened up. Let's see, before I go too far with this, let's see, is that an effect I want, or is that too busy? Too busy. Let's just do this, because we don't. No, I don't want to do that. We don't want every piece of the picture to attract the eye equally. So far, my tablet hasn't given me too much trouble today. So doing this depth on these stairs is another experiment. I don't know if I want to keep this or not, but I feel like it goes along with that section of low stone wall. Let's see. See, this helps create a layer. It's almost like a little sandbox here. I wonder how I can make it more. I was gonna gray in my coat, and now I wonder if that's a good idea or not, actually. So hard to get all these stairs evenly spaced. I wonder if I should try to fix this or not. I could, couldn't I? I could. Alright, let's do it. I think what I'm going to do here then is just grab. Oh, see, it's not 100% level either. Let's add on. And let's move it. Oh, yes, of course, how interesting. I did it on the wrong layer. So, we will just pop up a layer and see if we can move it. Yes, okay. I think it's about there. What do you think? And then we'll just do the same thing here. Move it down. And same thing over here, right? I thought it was going to be much more of a pain. Okay, so that's all done. So now what we need to do actually is just fill these lines in. Like so. You know, kind of blend reality to the point where it looks like it was originally drawn this way. More or less. Now we can go back and continue where we left off. Magical. That is much better. Nothing is ever perfect. It's all just about figuring out how good things need to be and making sure that they're at least that good. And that is always the struggle, isn't it? Okay. There are still things that are not so hot here, but I'm going to color this one in too so I can make this railing pop a little bit. Okay. Looks like I'm wearing a little hat, doesn't it? I'm looking at this and I think I think it's done. I think we did it. How long did it take? Half an hour. Well, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to